in the hippie community, which I still keep tabs on from time to time, in the New Age community, the metaphysical community, the mindset community, reality creation, all that good stuff. I'm seeing a theme, a trend of kind of downplaying affirmations. And I mean, even the man, Dr. Joe Dispenza, probably one of the most influential people, biggest speakers in that space, even he's not big on affirmations. And I understand his reasons. But given that affirmations have completely changed my life, I gotta tell y'all why they're important. I gotta break it down, why there might be something to it, how to use them, and this reason that I don't see many people mention this, and I feel like it's well worth mentioning, so that's what we're going to do today. Before we get into it, Condemned Labs, I do want to let you know they have an insane sale going on the rest of this month, the rest of December, from now to the 28th, I want to say. And you can use my code that you can always use, Oak City Strong, and you can stack it with an additional code 15 off. That's 150FF, 15 off. If you put in both of those codes, 25% off. My God, you can stock up on supplements for the next 6 months, save like $200 or $300. It's a no-brainer. That's how I always get all of my condemned stuff. The Convict pre-workout, I always have like 5 tubs ready to go. The creatine, the C block, that's a great intra-workout carbohydrate supplement I'm a big fan of. The protein tastes great. I'll get that from time to time, and I just stock up on it when they have a crazy discount that I can stack mine on top of another one, because it's like, dude, you're gonna save so much money. So wanted to let you know about that before we get into today's video. CondemnedLabs.com, check it out. That Convict pre-workout is the best pre-workout on planet Earth. While we're talking about some out there topics today, that freaking Convict is like the DMT of pre-workout. I have like religious, spiritual experiences every single morning. My goosebumps will have goosebumps. I'll be in tears visualizing some gnarly shit, visualizing the life of my dreams and kissing my wife and son and holding them tight and then just blasting off through this freaking Sri Yantra I got tattooed on my chest, right through the center of it, into this reality that I know is on its way to me just as much as I'm on its way to it. And holy shit, that it's debating on. I'm trying to curse a little less, y'all. I'm trying to curse a little less. I'll still be letting them fly, but I'm trying to do a little less. I'm trying to decide what I wanted to say there. That Convict pre-workout is a big part of why those moments are so powerful and special and potent. Anyways, the topic of today's video, affirmations. When I first got into affirmations, I noticed something that was very, very unsettling. I've talked about this before. There's a channel on YouTube. They've changed their name a handful of times. I think before it was Alpha Male Affirmations, then it was Solar Affirmations, and I think it's even something different now, like, what is it? It might still be Solar Affirmations, or just Alpha Affirmations, and they ditched the male part. I'm not really sure. Easy to find if you look it up. Great channel. I've used a ton of those over the years. And what I started noticing when it would be, because the goal is the guy's saying it to you and you're saying it back out loud. I think that's way more powerful than just listening to it. So I would do this walking around the neighborhood, driving, especially early on in my training career when I was very nervous. This is an industry I wanted to get into for years. So when I finally got into it and it was happening, I was like, oh my God, I can't fuck this up. So I'd be hitting like these confidence affirmations on the way to the gym, repeating them out loud, right? Anyways, what I would notice is my brain, it would start to make fun of it. Or it would even want to swap certain words. I wish I could remember the exact example, but I remember this one, and because my shit is so routine, like I would start it at the same time as I was leaving my apartment. So this very same spot in the neighborhood, this very same line would come on, and it was something like, I really can't remember exactly what it was, so we'll just make an example. It was like, I have what it takes, and my brain would very much try to push me to say, I don't have what it takes. It would try and make me say the inverse. And at first I thought it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh, it's a little weird. Silly little brain thing trying to get me to do a negative affirmation. But it kept happening. Like every single time in that same spot in the neighborhood, in that same spot in the audio track, as the homie's saying, life is good and getting better or some shit, my brain would be like, life sucks and it's getting worse. Take that. Take that. Trying to steer the ship in a different direction. I don't think so. It's like this weird part of my brain or ego that had a hard time going in a positive direction. And I was like, well, that's fucking crazy. That's freaking crazy that my brain is more comfortable saying out loud a negative version of this affirmation than the positive. And then even outside of that exact example, I would start, because again, I'm saying it out loud, I would start doing it in like goofy voices, like making fun of it. Things are good and getting better. And be like, why'd you do that? Just be normal. Things are good and getting better. Or it'll be, I'm a magnet for all that is good. Oh, I'm a magnet for all that is good. Right. Get a load of this guy. This is like what my it's what my ego is doing. Like whatever part of my inner child is more attached to lack and not winning and not succeeding, like that part of my ego was just like arms crossed. I don't want this. I don't want this. It was so stubborn. It was so violently against this positive direction I was trying to go in. And for that reason alone, I think affirmations are very important just for you to witness what you feel goofy about saying. I know people that are so deeply dark in the shadows, in the muck, the most negative people I've ever come across in my entire life. And if I attempted to get them to do some of my affirmations, I don't think they could even do it. It would go beyond, things are good and getting better, right? Yeah, right. It would go way beyond that. I don't think they could say it. I think I would say, and next, things are good and getting better. And I think they'd freaking lock up. I think they would get locked up. How unsettling and disturbing is that? If someone cannot even say a sequence of words that are positive. Not good. Not good. I am thankful for my life. Okay, now you go. Let's freak out. Just have a fucking mind melt situation. And ultimately, that same affirmation track I was listening to for a long time, I was like, I'm just going to attack this with repetition, which that's one negative thing I've seen people say about affirmations. This one guy, Nero, what's his channel? Nero Talks, or it might just be Nero. He's got some gold. His videos are like an hour long on the whiteboard. If you know who I'm talking about, he's got some really, really good frequency and law of attraction and reality creation videos, right? That's his whole jam. He was saying affirmations is like that Bart Simpson meme where he's just writing the word down 300 times on the whiteboard or the chalkboard, but then after he's still like not believing that thing, so something he was forced to do. He's basically saying it's not an efficient way to change your subconscious mind. It's kind of like trying to force it. I could see that. I'm not even saying that it's the best way, but it will highlight some things. It will highlight some things. If you feel goofy as a motherfucker, saying I'm grateful, I promise you that's an issue. If you feel violently disingenuous when you go to say things are good and getting better, I love my life, I promise you that's an issue. If you're so uncomfortable saying a sequence of positive words that you literally can't say it, I promise you that's an issue. And if that happens when you go to do affirmations, guess what? Repetition works on everything. I don't care what it is. Working out, getting comfortable in a setting, in a certain space, any kind of skill, any kind of task, repetition will always work. It might not be the most efficient in some cases, but it will always work. So you're gonna keep saying it until saying the most normal positive thing doesn't feel like pulling teeth. Because again, I promise you that's an issue. Now, if I'm sitting there with 15 minutes and I have 15 minutes of free time, yeah, I'd probably prefer to go into some deep meditation, do some oming, something like that. So these days, my practical application for affirmations is driving. See how loud this truck is. It'll be while I'm driving, something I can do where the task I'm doing is kind of, or walking around like a lake or something, like a guy here behind me and hitting affirmations is powerful as a motherfucker. I will finish that walk, come back in the gym, and have the most supercharged, supernova freaking session with the client ever. So, as far as practical application, driving, walking, doesn't have to be that long. Could even be like 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But I promise you that there is something off in your mind, your psychology, with your ego, if you have a huge hang up with saying some very normal positive shit. This is getting a little repetitive, but guess what? That's kind of the whole point of affirmations. It's repetitive, and you do it until you start to believe it. And now when you say it, you have more conviction. As you have even more conviction, now the things you're saying on a regular basis, you're starting to see them reflected in your reality. This works. Try it out. I'll see you in the next one.